Guess he's here someplace.
Okay, this 10 a.m. we'll call the meeting to order. Mr. O'Brien, lead us in the pledge.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In case of fire or other emergency, there's three exits to the room, there, and there. In case of such emergency, please proceed to the nearest exit. Find the nearest staircase, go down and exit the building. If you would need assistance, please contact one of us for help. Please silence your cell phones for this meeting. Thank you very much.
Keeping with what will probably be a common theme for me today, we got things out of order. Ms. Clary, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Dear Father, as Bob has just so very well shown, that we're all human and we do make mistakes. Okay? Not one of us in this room that can say we've done everything perfect. Value of our employees and the people that work for this county. There's a big thought process that we all think about, community first and looking out for our families. Hope today we remember that and you can help us do that. So thank you very much.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Hanky. Mrs. Fadler.
Here.
Mr. Tall.
Present.
Mr. Shaw.
Here.
Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Fisher.
Here.
Mr. Baker.
Here.
Mr. Nolan.
Here.
Mr. O'Brien.
Here.
Mr. Hahn.
Here.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. Skelly.
Here.
Mr. Hogan.
Here.
Mr. Wilson. Mrs. Clary.
Here.
Mr. Wang. Mr. Roselle.
Here. Go. First order of business, we have a presentation from Dick Farrell. Need a handheld mic too.
Two months in a row. Last month, you ladies and gentlemen were very kind and gave me a nice proclamation on my retirement after 44 years of publishing. And a long time ago, my mother told me, if someone does something nice for you, try to do something nice for them. So tonight, I am presenting to you my favorite picture that sat over my desk in my office for a long time. I can't say it was 44 years, but just want to read you a little bit about the origin of this. This is a painting of George Washington praying at Valley Forge. It was done by Arnold Freiberg in honor of the nation's bicentennial. On May 6, 1982, President Ronald Reagan said it was the most sublime picture in American history, portraying George Washington on his knees in the snow at Valley Forge. That image personified a people who knew that was going to happen, who knew that it is not enough to just depend on our own courage and goodness. We must always seek help from God, our Father and Provider. So I'd like to present this to the entire board. I noticed you didn't have it. You have a nice spot over there, but that's up to you guys. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Excuse me. We have another presentation, which is pretty impressive, actually. It's a recognition of Kelsey Carpenter. The 911 Coordinator Association has voted her telecommunicator of the year. I think Tim's got.
Morning, everybody. On behalf of Director Gosnell, Communications Center Supervisor Don Stevens, and our entire team, we appreciate the invitation from Chairman Hankey to attend this morning's board meeting and bring to light a member of our team who was recently recognized for their work at the New York State 911 Coordinators Conference. On Tuesday, October 1st, at the Coordinators Annual Award Ceremony, Communications Training Officer Kelsey Carpenter, a native of Greenwich, homegrown first responder and 5-year member of our team, was selected by the association as their telecommunicator of the year. The Coordinators Association annually selects 4 public safety communications professionals for their coveted statewide awards. 3 of the 4 of those selections go to those in leadership positions or those with a leadership background. Among a room full of 911 coordinators and state public safety leaders, Kelsey was the sole frontline communications officer selected to receive an award and the first in Washington County. This is a great opportunity to look at our entire team and know how truly blessed we are as a department, a first responder community, and a county to have amazing people doing difficult jobs in support of others, all of who represent Washington County and our single best resource, our people. So I'd just like Kelsey to come up. I think the chairman just has a couple of quick words for you and maybe a photo.
Oh, Tam, you got to be, Tam, you've got to be in the picture too. You got a haircut and everything. Now, I assume you want to give a big speech. Is that correct? I know she doesn't want to do a big, long speech, but we really appreciate what you do down there. You've been involved in some really big incidents and really have helped out a lot of people in the county. We really appreciate you. Okay, next we have some retirement recognitions. Guess I should have stayed up front. Really sad that everybody gets these awards has to have their picture taken with me. That's we should have a more photogenic model up here doing this. First one is corrections, Ray Paquette. 21 years and 7 months. Is Ray here? Anybody here from Sheriff's Department? Come get it.
Thank you, appreciate it. I'll get it done. Okay. Thank you very much.
Tell them we appreciate it. I don't know this next guy, but he's had 25 years in 1 week. Paul Ferguson. Appreciate it, bud. You want to make a speech?
Just if you're young and coming into the county, I would actually, I'm going to thank Farrell Prefontaine, the late Farrell Prefontaine, but get involved in deferred compensation, and that's why I'm 25 years.
Get all the pictures you need?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Valerie Bogart has got 18 years. Is Valerie here? Oh, all right. There she is. This is hard handing. Stupid mic. We got to do something about that. Thank you, Valerie.
I just want to say thank you. You have been a shining star. When I pass you in the hallway or I see you, you always smile, and I love your attitude. So I'm going to miss you. Thank you for your service.
Dale King, I guess, is not here, and I don't think they already gave it to him, so you don't need to receive it. 16 years. And Jeff Odell from the sewer district has 23 years. Is Jeff here? Anybody from the sewer district here? There we go. Okay, the condensed minutes from September 20th, 2024 meeting are in your packet. I'll consider them accepted as mailed unless there are any additions or corrections. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, we'll consider them accepted as mailed. Communications?
No communications.
Okay. Committee reports, audit committee? Second. Paul. Speaker O'Brien, Hahn, Hogan, Clary, Wang, and Noland. I would like to offer an amendment to this motion. My amendment would be to have the treasurer, when he receives these bills, hold voucher 2024-9535 and not pay it because it's matters of subject to litigation and we don't think we owe it. It's to the Black River. I'll make that motion. Is there a second? Bedler, Hahn, Hall, Fisher, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, I'm sorry, Hall, excuse me, Campbell, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Wang, Rosella, and Nolan. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, moving back to the motion as amended. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Next, the introduction of local law E of 2024. If the clerk could read the title.
Introductory Local Law E of 2024, County of Washington, New York, introduced by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan. A local law pursuant to Chapter 97-2011 of the laws of the state of New York and Section 3-C of the General Municipal Law, overriding tax levy limit for fiscal year 2025.
Thank you. Really important part as far as I'm concerned is the second paragraph of section 1 on that. Okay, under supervisor's privileges of the floor, I believe we have two. Mr. Baker.
Chairman, I ask that Judge Burke from Granville be allowed to speak.
Phil, no, you're up, Phil.
Phil. Judge. Oh, you're up.
That mic's working, right?
I don't like microphones, so I assume, first of all, I want to make sure everybody can hear me. I'm here for no ulterior purpose. I'm here because I'm extremely upset on what I'm being told by some people here, some of the supervisors and others on the sales tax. I have no, well, let me put it this way. I was born in Washington County. I'll even mention John Roselle Granville. I can't help it, John. But I have been here all of my life, many years, unfortunately. And I am well aware of the situation. And one thing I want to make clear, the tourists do not pay sales tax in this county. And if they do, they pay for a toothbrush or something like that. I don't know whether it's a regressive tax or not. Depends how you define regressive. That's not the issue. I do know, and I will just mention this, I do know that in Granville, we have a very active Chamber of Commerce. And I do know a few years ago, there was a sign that was posted on Route 22, about a mile from our main section, our main street, indicating, encouraging people to come to our main street and buy some things. What happened? They came, some, not many. They came, they went to our restaurants, they used the toilet, which resulted in the doors being locked after a while. Finally, what the chamber did is, and the main concern is our residents, not tourists. What they did is we have a great big parking lot. We try to keep, concentrate on focusing on having our local people go to the stores and support rather than coming over to Warren County, to the mall, Rutland, and so on. And it's helped. And our chamber just about 2 weeks ago on Sunday the 29th had an auto show. We had over 200 antique cars that came from all over, and that helps. But what I want to say is, and I want to make this clear, the sales tax in Warren County is 7%. And in spite of what you might hear, I don't accept for a minute that Senator Steck wouldn't put a resolution before the New York legislature to increase the sales tax. They want to see what we're going to do over here. And I've talked to them before. I've told them I regard as a rich uncle. They have so much sales taxes. And the tourists over there do pay the sales tax because they go to Lake George, which is noted all over the state as a vacation mecca. They stay for about a week or more. They go to the restaurants over there, they pay taxes over there, and sales taxes, and that's that. We're not Warren County. And I'll tell you one thing, if you If you raise the sales tax, which I don't think is going to happen, I can't imagine that happening. What's going to happen is Warren County will come in with less, 7.5, who knows? Then what you're going to have to do, obviously, is have a special meeting and raise it to at least, or lower it to at least what Warren County is charging. Now, in this county, we have the state, in this county, we're surrounded by the state of Vermont, whatever town you're in. Whitehall, Granville, Greenwich, Hudson, wherever you go. The sales tax in the state of Vermont is 6%. The sales tax in Saratoga County is 7%. I have personally gone this week. On Monday, I went to see Jim Zappone. We have one car dealership in Granville, and they do a heck of a business. In fact, I buy my Jeeps there, and I just bought one a couple weeks ago. The only problem with that is they got all this technology I don't need, and I told them disconnect it, but that's beside the point. I talked to Jim. I told him what was happening. He says, God, I hope that doesn't happen. I says, why not? He says, I don't know whether it'll affect our car sales, but it surely will affect our service. He says, we have people coming there, and I saw this. They come from Vermont. They come from all over. You should be concerned about your local businesses. As a matter of fact, what really concerns me is back in 2011, we have a store by the name of Walmart. They constructed their building and their business. They opened up on September 12th of 2011. I came here and said to all of you at that time, you're out of your mind to be considering raising the sales tax. And this comes up every so often. And they wanted to raise it to 8%. And what happened? I told them that extra 1% means a lot to stores. If you're trying to attract business here, and they can go to Warren County or Saratoga County at 7%, why would they come here, pay that extra 1%? I talked with John Stokowski. We have 2 tractor dealerships. I talked to him on the next day, on Tuesday. I told him what was happening. He said, oh, God, they can't do that. I says, why not? He says, well, right now we get people from Vermont, Pulteney, Fairhaven, and so on. And it's 6% over there, and they're willing to go the 1%. But they're not going to go 2%. And I says, don't worry about it. I hope that's not going to happen. I did happen to mention to him, I says, John, if you had a choice, I shouldn't even mention this, between raising the real property tax or the sales tax, how do you feel about that? He says, I don't want either, naturally. But you have to do what you have to do. So I also went to Morris Tractor Place. I went there yesterday. And I talked to Amanda, who's the manager there. And she says, oh, this would be terrible if they did that. We do a lot of business. In fact, John Stokowski told me in Granville, we have a lot of slate quarries all around. He says that we sell hose. A lot of the slate quarries, they use hose in their expensive equipment. They also sell equipment. So this is really a problem if you do this. So the question is what do you do? All right, I'll finish this in a second. The question is, what do you do? And it's important I say this. Well, you can't go to God. We have probably the best budget officer in Brian in the state of New York. And he's going to have to work out something about cutting expenses. If he has to, you'll have to raise the taxes. Those are the only 2 options you got. And how do you cut expenses? And I won't get into this now, but I'm happy that Sue is now the chairman of the community college. And I have nothing against Adirondack, no personal vendetta. My family pays 6 scholarships, $1,000 each in Granville to graduates. But I'm telling you, that budget has got to be cut. Her salary was outrageous. The rest of them are there. You've got to have committee meetings. I'd be willing to volunteer as ex officio and really get into what they're actually paying. Anyway, all I can say is you cannot cut the sales tax. You have to look out for not only our residents. We have a lot of very poor people, the poverty level is low, you either have to cut expenses or raise taxes. Those are the only two options. I want to thank you for your time. I want to say hello to Debbie. I haven't seen you. A few of us are still here, but there is no way, and I really mean this, and I have no ulterior motive. If you raise the sales tax, we're going to be in serious trouble. We're going to lose some of our regular businesses who have been here for years.
So you
Thank you.
got to wind up.
Huh?
You got to wind it up. Okay, we have another request for privilege, Mr. Nolan.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to invite Bob Jeffords, Greenwich businessman, former town councilman and resident.
Actually, my talk will be real short because Judge Burke stole my thunder. But in any event, thanks, Jim, for inviting me. I sent Jim an email a week or so ago, basically against the raising of the sales tax. And my family's owned 2 retail establishments in Greenwich for over 30 years. And it is, our main competition comes from Saratoga. And I can tell you right now, Saratoga County is not going to raise their sales tax up. And if you go ahead and raise the sales tax up, you're going to lose some of the 3% that you're already collecting from my 2 businesses, because I know I'm going to have trouble getting people to come over from Saratoga. I'm going to have trouble keeping our local people buying in the local community. They're going to be going to Saratoga. Right now, 80% of our revenue comes from out of the local area. 20% comes from the local area. And we market in the Saratoga and the Capital District. And there's no way I can market that automatically 1% more is going to be added on. Now, 1% is not a lot of money, but the perception is there. And the minute you say you're going to automatically pay an additional amount of sales tax of 1%, I can tell you it's going to affect retail. And we've got a very vibrant downtown in Greenwich, and we've worked really hard to build it. Jim's worked very hard. Our previous supervisors worked very hard at it, and we have a wonderful chamber. So please do not vote this in. It's going to be counterproductive. We too have a number of people that are, economically not able to pay additional with the cost of living that has gone up. We just can't afford to be putting an additional burden on these people. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope that you do not vote for this increase. Thank you.
Okay, I need a motion to set aside the rules for resolution 305 and have the clerk read the resolves only, starting with 305. Is there a motion to do so? Moved by Supervisor Hall, second. Fedler, Shaw, O'Brien, Hahn, and Nolan, and Clary. Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 305 by Supervisor Skelly, titled to award mini bid 2024I for K-9 Patrol Durango PPV. Resolved that the mini bid 2024I for K-9 Patrol Durango PPV Washington County DPW be awarded to Falls Dodge, doing business as Joe Saccone Chrysler Complex Ford, in the amount so specified. And be it further resolved that the chairman of the Board of Supervisors is hereby authorized to execute those documents necessary in a form to be reviewed and approved by the county attorney.
Thank you. Don't believe we need a recess at this point. Let's move on to consideration of the resolutions.
Resolution number 285 by Supervisors Wilson, Fedler, Shaw, Roselle, Fisher, Baker, Wang, Tall. Title, Resolution authorizing the implementation and funding in the first instance 100% of the federal aid and state Marcia program aid eligible cost of a transportation federal aid project and appropriating funds therefore. Sanford Hill Road over Bly Creek Bridge.
Chairman, moving resolution 285.
Moved by Supervisor Fedler, second. Hall, Shaw, Hall, Fisher, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, Campbell, Wang, and Nolan. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 286 by Supervisors Wilson, Fedler, Shaw, Roselle, Fisher, Baker, Wang, Tall, title to authorize the chairman of the board to sign amendments to the 2019-2024 municipal snow and ice agreement.
Mr. Chairman, moving number 286.
Moved by Supervisor Fedler, second. Hall, Shaw, Hall, Fisher, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, Campbell, Wang, Roselle, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 287 by Supervisors Wilson, Fedler, Shaw, Roselle, Fisher, Baker, Wang, Tall, title authorized agreement between the County of Washington and the State of New York for the removal of snow and salting to control ice on state roads expiring June 30th, 2029.
Moving resolution number 287.
Moved by Supervisor Fedler, second. Hall, Fisher, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, Campbell, Wang, and Noland. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And I'm not hesitating because I'm having a stroke. I can't see you guys with the glare there. So I got to kind of peer and see who's got their hands up. Plus, you won't care.
Resolution number 288 by Supervisors Wilson, Fedler, Shaw, Roselle, Fisher, Baker, Wang, Tall, title to authorize purchase of 4 ice maker brine sprayers via Sourcewell contract.
Chairman, moving resolution number 288.
Moved by Supervisor Fedler, second. Hall, Fisher, Baker, O'Brien, Campbell, Wang, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 289 by Supervisors Nolan, Hall, Hogan, and Baker, title to authorize the chairman to sign an agreement between the County of Washington and Pace at Hudson Headwaters, Inc. to provide home-delivered meals through a program of all-inclusive care for the elderly.
Mr. Chairman, moving resolution number 289.
Moved by Supervisor Nolan, second. Fedler, Hall, Fisher, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, Campbell, and Clary. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 290 by Supervisors Hall, Hogan, Shaw, Skelly, title to appoint election commissioner Republican.
Mr. Chairman, respectively request to hold resolution number 290 till the end, please.
A motion to postpone 290. Is there a second? Fedler, O'Brien, Hahn, Campbell, and Noland. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We'll put that at the end.
Resolution number 291 by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Skelly, Hogan, Cleary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, title to set time and place for a public hearing on introductory local law E of 2024.
Moving resolution 291.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, Fisher, Baker, O'Brien, Clary, and Noland. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
One no, Mr. Shaw. Motion carries.
Resolution number 292 by Supervisors Hall, Campbell, Fedler, Skelly, Wilson, Nolan, title to amend the staffing pattern for safety officers.
Mr. Chairman, respectively remove resolution number 292.
Moved by Supervisor Hall, second. Fedler, Hall, Tall, Fisher, O'Brien, Hahn, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 293 by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, title amend the duties of the county auditor and deputy county auditor to add homeowner broadband grant program and housing rehabilitation program.
Moving 293.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, Fisher, O'Brien, Hahn, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 294 by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, title amend budget legislative board to purchase additional wireless microphone.
Moving 294.
By Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Tall, Hall, Fisher, O'Brien, Larry, and Nolan. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 295 by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, title amend budget for Hudson River Black River assessment.
Moving resolution 295.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Hall, Fisher, Hahn, Clary, and Nolan. Discussion. This in no way affects my amendment on the audit committee motions, just changes the money to the right spot. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 296 by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, title amend budget, Department of Social Services for revised IT contract.
Moving 296.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Tall, Shaw, Hall, Fisher, O'Brien, Hahn, Clary, and Nolan. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 297 by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, title amend budget, DSS for computer equipment.
Moving 297.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Hall, Fisher, O'Brien, Clary, and Nolan. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 298 by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, title create a capital project for Sanford Hill Road over Fly Creek Bridge reconstruction.
Moving 298.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, Shaw, Hall, Fisher, O'Brien, Hahn, Clary, and Nolan. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 299 by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, title amend budget, capital project H125 for CAD RMS system.
Moving resolution 299.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, Fisher, Clary, and Nolan. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 300 by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, titled Authorized Chairman to sign agreement with Warren County for youth services for the years 2024, 2025.
Moving resolution 300.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Tall, Hall, Fisher, O'Brien, Clary, and Nolan. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 301 by Supervisors Campbell, Fisher, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, titled to set date of annual meeting.
Moving 301.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Tall, Hall, Fisher, O'Brien, Hahn, Clary, and Nolan. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 302 by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, titled determine a time and place for a public hearing on the 2025 tentative budget.
Moving 302.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Tall, Hall, Fisher, O'Brien, Clary, Roselle, and Nolan. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 303 by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, title amend budget sheriff for software maintenance.
Moving resolution 303.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Tall, Hall, Fisher, O'Brien, Hahn, Clary, and Nolan. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 304 by Supervisors Campbell, Fedler, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Roselle, Hall, Wilson, Fisher, Nolan, title authorized contract with Anthem for provision of Medicare Advantage Part D and non-Medicare supplemental drug health insurance coverage.
Moving 304.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Hahn, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. You guys are becoming less enthusiastic here.
Hard to be enthusiastic on that.
Resolution number 305 by Supervisor Skelly, title to award mini bid 2024I for K-9 Patrol Durango PPV.
Moved by Supervisor Skelly, second. Fedler, Hall, Fisher, O'Brien, Campbell, Clary, and Roselle and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Returning to Resolution 290. You've already heard title been read. Mr. Hall, want to introduce it?
Yes, sir. Introducing resolution number 290 to move, please.
Moved by Supervisor Hall, second. Shaw. Discussion. Mr. Nolan.
Respectively, make a motion that we move into executive session to discuss this appointment.
Motion for executive session, second. Is there further discussion? I'm sorry, we didn't. Yes, we did not second. Second, Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Hahn, Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, let's, we'll be, for the audience, we'll be coming back in the regular session to vote on this and, perhaps do some other things. So, what I'll do is I'll have the supervisors